Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Open English Podcast. I'm Sam.
And I'm Lisa. We're really happy you're here with us today.
Today's topic is something that happens in every relationship, every workplace, every family, every friendship.
Disagreement.
Yes, those moments when you think differently from another person, when you don't share the same opinion, when you see the same situation in a completely different way.
And disagreement is completely normal. It's part of every human relationship.
But how you disagree matters enormously. You can disagree in a way that damages a relationship, or you can disagree in a way that actually makes the relationship stronger.
And in English specifically, there are phrases and strategies that make disagreement polite, respectful, and effective.
So today, we'll talk about how to disagree in English without being rude, without damaging relationships, and without losing your own voice.
Before we start, a quick request. If you enjoy this podcast, please subscribe. It's completely free.
And if you're watching on YouTube, please like the video. It helps more English learners find us every week.
Okay, let's talk about disagreement.
Lisa, let me start with a question. Do you find it easy or hard to disagree with people?
Honestly, it depends on who the person is.
Tell us more.
With close friends, I find it easy. We know each other well, we trust each other, so disagreeing feels safe.
And with other people?
With colleagues, with authority figures, with people I don't know well, I find it much harder. I sometimes stay quiet when I should speak up.
Why do you think that is?
I think I worry about how I will be perceived. Will they think I'm difficult? Will they be upset with me? Will it create problems?
So the worry about the relationship stops you from saying what you really think.
Yes, and I don't think I'm alone in that.
No, many people do the same, especially people from cultures where disagreement is seen as disrespectful.
Yes, in some cultures, agreeing with authority figures is very important. Disagreeing openly can feel wrong or even rude.
And then those people come to an English-speaking environment where open, polite disagreement is completely normal and even expected.
And they don't have the language or the habit for it.
So learning how to disagree politely in English is not just about vocabulary. It's also about understanding a cultural approach.
Yes, in English-speaking professional environments, sharing a different opinion is often seen as a sign that you are thinking, that you are engaged, that you care about the outcome.
Staying silent is sometimes seen as not having an opinion or not being interested.
So speaking up, even when you disagree, is actually positive.
As long as you do it respectfully.
As long as you do it respectfully. That's the key.
Okay, I have a story about a time when I disagreed very badly, not politely at all.
Oh, tell us.
So early in my career, I was in a team meeting. My manager presented an idea for a project, and I thought the idea had a serious problem.
And what did you do?
I said immediately, without thinking, that won't work.
Just like that? That won't work?
Just like that. 3 words. No explanation, no softening, just a direct rejection of his idea.
In front of the whole team.
In front of everyone. And the room went very quiet.
I can imagine that silence.
My manager looked at me. His face was calm, but his eyes were not calm.
And then what happened?
He said very quietly, "Okay, Sam, why don't you explain your thinking?" And I did. And actually, my point was valid. There was a real problem with the idea.
But the way you said it was the problem.
The way I said it was the whole problem. I was right about the issue, but I was completely wrong in how I raised it.
Because that won't work sounds like an attack, not a contribution.
Exactly. It dismissed his idea entirely, in public, with no respect for the effort he put in.
And how did things feel after that meeting?
Uncomfortable. For several weeks. My manager was always professional, but something had changed between us.
Because even if your point was correct, the delivery damaged the relationship.
Yes, and I learned something very important that day. Being right is not enough. How you communicate matters just as much as what you communicate.
That lesson is worth remembering. Being right is not enough.
Now, if I could go back to that meeting, I would say something very different.
What would you say?
I would say, "That's an interesting approach. I wonder if we've considered the issue with the timeline. Could we look at that together?"
Same concern, completely different feeling.
Same content, different delivery, and the relationship stays intact.
Okay, so let's get into the actual language. How do you disagree politely in English?
Yes, let's start with the most important rule.
What's that?
Before you disagree, acknowledge what the other person said. Show them you heard them and you understood them.
Yes, this is called acknowledging before disagreeing, and it makes a huge difference.
Because when someone feels heard, they are much more open to hearing a different opinion.
But when someone feels immediately dismissed, they close down. They defend their position.
So always acknowledge first, then disagree.
Let's look at some phrases for acknowledging. You can say, I understand what you're saying, or that's a valid point.
Or, I can see where you're coming from. This phrase means, I understand your perspective. I see how you arrived at that opinion.
Or you make a good point about, and then repeat back what they said.
These phrases show respect, and they cost nothing.
They take 2 seconds, but they change everything about how the disagreement feels.
Okay, now let's look at phrases for the actual disagreement, after you acknowledge.
The most common and natural phrases in English for polite disagreement start with however or but.
For example, that's a valid point. However, I think we also need to consider.
Or I understand what you're saying, but I see it a little differently.
I see it a little differently is a very soft way to disagree. It doesn't say you are wrong. It just says my perspective is different.
Another great phrase is, I'm not sure I agree completely. This is softer than I disagree.
I'm not sure I agree completely leaves room for discussion. It opens a conversation rather than closing one.
You can also say, I take a different view on this, or I have a slightly different perspective.
The word slightly makes it softer. It suggests the difference is not enormous.
Even if it is enormous, slightly reduces the tension.
And another very useful phrase is, have you considered, followed by your point.
For example, have you considered that the timeline might be too short? This presents your disagreement as a question, not a statement.
Questions feel less confrontational than statements.
Yes, the timeline is too short is a statement. It sounds certain and final.
Have you considered that the timeline might be too short is a question. It sounds collaborative, like you're thinking together.
And people respond much better to collaboration than confrontation.
Let's also talk about tone, because in English, the tone of your voice carries a lot of meaning.
Yes, the same words can sound respectful or rude, depending on how you say them.
I see it differently, said calmly and warmly, is very polite.
I see it differently, said with a sharp, impatient tone, is much less polite, even though the words are the same.
So pay attention to your tone. Calm, warm, and curious is always the best approach.
Even when you feel frustrated inside, try to keep the voice calm outside.
That takes practice, but it is a skill that improves over time.
Okay, I have a story now, a funny one this time.
Please, go ahead.
So, a few years ago, I was at a family dinner. My uncle was talking about the best way to cook rice.
An important topic.
Very important in our family. And he was very confident about his method. He said, the only correct way to cook rice is to wash it 3 times and then use exactly this amount of water.
Very specific instructions.
Very specific. And my aunt, his wife, very quietly said, actually, I don't wash my rice at all, and it comes out perfectly.
Oh, a direct disagreement.
A very direct disagreement in front of the whole family about rice.
And how did your uncle react?
He stopped. He looked at her, and he said very seriously, "What do you mean you don't wash the rice?" And she said very calmly, "I haven't washed rice in 20 years. You've been eating unwashed rice for 20 years, and you always said it was delicious."
Oh no. 20 years of unwashed rice?
A whole table went silent, and then everyone started laughing, including my uncle, eventually.
Eventually is the important word.
Yes, it took him a moment, but he laughed, and then he said, well, maybe both methods are acceptable.
A very diplomatic conclusion.
A very diplomatic conclusion to the great rice disagreement of that dinner.
And what does that story show us?
It shows that even in small, everyday disagreements, how you handle the moment matters. My aunt was calm, she used humor naturally, she had evidence, 20 years of evidence.
And she didn't attack him. She just presented the facts.
Calmly, without drama. And eventually, even the most stubborn person in the room had to laugh.
Stubborn means someone who doesn't change their opinion easily.
Yes, a very useful word for many family situations.
Okay, let's talk about some specific situations where you might need to disagree in English and what to say in each one.
Situation 1. You disagree with your boss at work.
This is the most common difficult situation because there is a power difference.
Yes, your boss has authority, so disagreeing requires extra care.
A good approach is to ask permission to share your perspective first. You can say, "Could I share a different perspective on this?"
Or, do you mind if I raise a concern about this? Raise a concern means to mention a problem or a worry.
These phrases show respect for their position, while still allowing you to speak.
And after sharing your concern, you can say, but I'm happy to follow your direction on this. This shows you respect the final decision, even if you disagree.
You shared your view, you are heard, and you respect the outcome. That's professional disagreement.
Situation 2. You disagree with a colleague or teammate.
With colleagues, the tone can be a little more direct, but still respectful.
You can say, I see this differently. Can I explain my thinking? And then share your point.
Or, I'm not sure about this approach. What if we tried, and then suggest an alternative?
Offering an alternative is powerful because you're not just saying no, you're bringing a solution.
I disagree without an alternative can feel obstructive. I disagree and here's another idea feels constructive.
Constructive means helpful, building something, not just blocking it.
Situation 3. You disagree with a friend in a casual conversation.
This is usually the easiest situation. With friends, you can be more direct.
You can say, I actually think the opposite. Or, really? I see it completely differently.
Or, I'm not sure I agree with that. Here's why.
The at the beginning is interesting. It sounds like you are thinking. It softens the disagreement slightly.
Yes, small sounds like or well before a disagreement give a small pause, a moment of thought before the opinion.
And that pause signals that you're being thoughtful, not reactive.
And thoughtful disagreement is always more respected than reactive disagreement.
Let's also talk about what to do when someone disagrees with you, because that's the other side.
Yes, how you receive disagreement is just as important as how you give it.
When someone disagrees with you, the first reaction for many people is to defend themselves immediately.
Yes, the brain hears disagreement as a kind of attack, and it wants to protect itself.
But the best response is to pause and listen.
Really listen, not just wait for your turn to talk.
And then say something like, that's an interesting point. I hadn't thought about it that way.
Or, I can see what you mean. Let me think about that.
Or even simply, you might be right about that.
Those 4 words, you might be right, they are very powerful in a disagreement.
Because they show openness. They show you are not locked in your position.
And they often completely change the energy of a disagreement. Suddenly, it doesn't feel like a fight anymore. It feels like a conversation.
And most disagreements should be conversations, not fights.
The goal is to find the best answer, not to win.
If you remember that, disagreements become much easier and much more productive.
Okay, let's give our listeners a summary of the key phrases from today.
For acknowledging before disagreeing, I understand what you're saying. I can see where you're coming from. That's a valid point.
For the disagreement itself, however, I think, I see it a little differently. I'm not sure I agree completely. Have you considered?
For professional situations, could I share a different perspective? Do you mind if I raise a concern? I'm happy to follow your direction on this.
And for receiving disagreement. That's an interesting point. I hadn't thought about it that way. You might be right about that.
These phrases work in almost every situation, at work, with friends, in class, in daily life.
And they work whether your English is beginner level or advanced level.
Simple language used respectfully is always effective.
Always.
Okay, before we finish, our usual request.
If this episode helped you, please subscribe to the Open English Podcast. It's completely free.
And if you're on YouTube, please like the video and leave us a comment.
Tell us about a time you had to disagree with someone, or tell us which phrase from today you want to use.
Write it in English in the comments. It's good practice, and we read every one.
Share this episode with someone who is learning English, or with someone who finds disagreement difficult.
Because knowing how to disagree well is one of the most valuable communication skills you can have.
In any language.
Thank you so much for listening. I'm Sam.
And I'm Lisa.
Disagree kindly, listen openly, and keep learning.
See you next time. Goodbye.
Goodbye, everyone.